Hey guys, let's get reeled into the new year. It's 2018 and it's bringing its A game to theaters, and I'm pumped. My name is Sean D, director, producer, and superhero, and this is Reeled In. Before we get started, I just wanted to apologize for not showing my face. I just don't have the equipment to film properly due to change of venue. I've been moving back and forth, and once I get to a new place and settle down, this will be a little bit more pleasing to watch. But for the meantime, sit back, relax, and enjoy. So 2017 was a great year for movies. Some good, some not so good. This is my top 3 movies of 2017. So my top 3 movies of 2017 is, well, there's no particular order. I have to give the first one to Spider-Man Homecoming. Well, he's not in first place, sorry. Just don't want to get y'all mixed up. But Spider-Man Homecoming, and it was directed by John Watts. I love that he official story to bring him into the MCU other than Civil War, which I love that movie. That's like in the Marvel franchise, Civil War is my favorite movie. But back to what I was talking about, I just love the way they introduced Spider-Man. I love that they have him as a kid, he's a teenager, and I think it showed a lot more of Peter Parker than it did Spider-Man. And I somebody actually brought this to my attention, that they showed more of a teenage not a superhero that was a teenager, but a teenager that was a superhero. And it was one of the most memorable movies of 2017. My favorite part of the movie is actually the Vulture. I was actually rooting for the Vulture at one time. I just love the backstory that they gave the Vulture and the plot twist at the end when he brought Liz Allen to the homecoming dance. Man, it was great. Like, it was a great reaction to hear the audience gasp when you figure out who the Vulture's related to, you know. Yeah, man, it was an amazing movie. Another movie I gave the top 3 spot was Get Out, directed by Jordan Peele. Man, what? It was a movie I was not expecting to really like, you know. First of all, you know, I'm not really into horror movies. But then I'm like, man, Jordan Peele, he's one of my favorite comedians, and I love Key and Peele. Just in case y'all didn't know who Jordan Peele's from, he's from the Key and Peele show. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know that already. But but he's super funny, and I was just like, well, what he's doing writing horror movies? So I went to go see Get Out, and man, it was just super. I can tell this is going to be a classic in the future. I think this is a movie I'm going to tell my kids, like, you know, y'all need to watch Get Out, like, really. It was smart, it was impeccably made, and I love the fact it was like a black horror film, and we really don't have that. We have lots of black dramas, lots of black comedies, but we don't have enough black horror films, and I think it's starting to become a genre, maybe, of some sort. Who knows? Not to say my favorite part of that movie had to be the teacup. That teacup, it was just so like this. I think if anything, it was more of the sound design that I really loved about, like the stirring of the teacup and listening. I was to the point I almost thought I was in the second place at one time. It was a fantastic movie. Well done, Jordan Peele. Oh, and he also wrote the movie too, just in case y'all didn't know. He wrote it. And I have to give my last slot to Logan, directed by James Mangold. Man, it was Hugh Jackman's last ride as the Wolverine, and it was so sad to see him go. Like, you see how, you know, if you brought your special one to a movie and they cry at the end, like, oh my gosh, all the men freaking cried at the end of Logan. If you did not tear up at the end of Logan, like, you wasn't a real X-Men fan. It was a great, and thing is, it didn't really feel like a superhero movie. It really didn't. It wasn't even like, oh, we have to stop Apocalypse, bub. You know, it just felt like more of a Western, and it was like a journey between a father and his daughter that he found out that he has. I have to say, my favorite part was the ending when Logan officially died, and they made the cross made out of sticks. And then when all the children left, she put the cross sideways and made it an X. And man, that hit me where I live. Man, it was such an emotional scene. As long as I live and breathe, I am the Wolverine. That movie would always and forever be one of my favorites. But yeah, those are my top three. Again, it was Spider-Man: Homecoming, Get Out, Logan, and it was no in particular order. As far as I know, those. If I can say, Sean, what was your favorite movie from 2017? Those would be the first three that I'll say that was most memorable to me. And I actually have some honorable mentions. It's Star Wars, The Last Jedi, It, and drumroll please, Lego Batman. I actually really love that movie. And if I can say the worst movie of 2017, okay, now the title I'm about to say is, it's not that I think is a terrible movie. It wasn't. I liked it. I like the franchise, but I think it's time to let it go. And I will have to give it to Transformers: The Last Knight. Sorry, Michael Bay. It's just, I just wasn't really feeling this movie. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I liked it, but I didn't love it, you know. But other than that, if I had to say that was the worst, yeah, I would say Transformers: The Last Night. It was the worst movie, or the Emoji Movie, but whatever. So yes, 2017 has brought some great films, but I feel 2018 is the year of the heavy hitters, possibly making history in the box office. So these next three films are my most anticipated movies of 2018. And then again, there's no particular order, but I'm going to have to give this first slot to The Black Panther. I paid $17 to see this movie in the Dolby Theater at the AMC movie theater. Oh my gosh. It's like, we finally have a black superhero. I mean, don't get me wrong, we had Falcon and we had Blade, but Black Panther, he's one of the revolutionary black African. Now I can't say African American. He's not American. He's he's king of Wakanda. And I think his origin stories are so awesome. It's like, okay, you're this awesome superhero, Avenger, and you're king of a whole nation. It sets up a very different story for if you know, within the lines of blacks and Africans, you know. And I just think it's just it's just so different. Like, how do you take care of a nation also taking care of the world, you know? But yeah, so my next movie I'm like really excited for is Incredibles 2.
It's been 14 years since Incredibles 1.
Incredibles came out in 2004. One of my favorite movies from my childhood. Thing is, I didn't really appreciate Incredibles until I got older. And like, oh man, it was just like, it was such a really great movie. Like, it was just an actual, like, it wasn't just like no kid movie, like, yeah, superheroes, poo, poo, poo. No, it was like an actual, like, really great story plot about family. And, you know, it's not just cool. Now, don't get me wrong, superpowers is awesome, but I heard in Incredibles 2, it's supposed to be getting more into Jack, and about his power and what he is. And, you know, if y'all remember Jack, you know, he was the baby at the very end with all these incredible powers and like all these different powers. And you're just like, okay, what is he? You know? Yeah, and hopefully in Incredibles 2, we get to find out. And last but not least, now, okay, I know I said this wasn't in any particular order, but this is number one. Infinity War. I cannot wait for Infinity War. Like, when the trailer came out, I wish Oscars had a category for best trailer, because in Infinity War, Avengers Infinity War will win. I know it will win. It is the end of Phase 3. It's starting a new chapter of the MCU in Phase 4, possibly the end of the MCU as we know it. It's the Russo brothers promise that it's not like any other Avengers movie or MCU movie ever we ever seen. And it's also like, this year is actually the 10-year anniversary of the MCU, all starting with Iron Man, you know. And who would have thought we came out this far, and we finally get to see what Thanos is made out of. And it just leaves you like, okay, who's next? You know, there's word on the street that, you know, we might be losing some Avengers, you know, due to like unfortunate events, you know. And, oh man, it's just, I cannot wait for Infinity War. I can go on and on about Infinity War, but I rather not. I'm actually going to leave that to another show that I'm doing called Geek Gang with Rocky and Garrett, and I hope for you guys to hear from that soon. But also, here's my honorable mentions, which will be Jurassic World, Isle of Dogs, and Ready Player One. I'm actually really ready for that movie. If anything, I'll have that tied with Incredibles 2. But other than that, yeah, Ready Player One, I'm totally stoked for that movie. Movies I'm not excited for, well, one movie I'm not excited for is Rampage, starring The Rock. I don't know if I'm just not familiar with the title. I heard it was a game. Sorry if for all the geeks that played that game, or gamers that played that game. I'm sorry, y'all shouldn't be called geeks, but gamers that play that game. But I'm just not familiar with it. I'm just not. But I don't know. It's just lately, just The Rock. I hate to say it, but I just really feel like he's starting to dry out. Like Dave Chappelle is like Kevin Harted. You know, it's just man, I just hope I just really hope this movie makes him better. 2018 have a lot in store for us, and I am super duper pumped. Comment below your 3 favorite or least favorite movies of 2017 and what movie you're most excited for in 2018. Thank you for listening, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you really like this channel, no pun intended, then click the subscribe button. Thanks again, and hope to see you guys soon on Reeled In.